Welcome to when the alternating series test fails. So recall to use the alternating series test. To prove convergence of the sum from n equals 1 to infinity of -1 to the n times a sub n, or the sum from n equals 1 to infinity of -1 to the n plus 1 times a sub n, right? To prove convergence of either of these alternating series, using the alternating series test, we need our a sub n to be positive and eventually monotonically decreasing. As well as needing our limit to go to 0. As well as having the limit as n goes to infinity of a sub n equals 0. So we have to make sure that we meet all of the conditions before we apply the alternating series test. So for example, if we are asked to use the alternating series test to prove the convergence of the sum from n equals 1 to infinity of -1 to the nth times the absolute value of sine of n over n cubed. Can we apply the alternating series test is the question. So here our a sub n's would be absolute value of sine of n over n cubed. So we do have the a sub n is greater than 0. We meet our first condition. We also have the limit as n goes to infinity of a sub n is the limit as n goes to infinity of the absolute value of sine of n over n cubed. This is 0, so we meet that condition as well. However, our a sub n's are not monotonically decreasing ever. So the sequence a sub n is never monotonically decreasing. Essentially, our sine n is bouncing around at various values between absolute value of sine n, right? So that absolute value of sine n bounces up and down. Too much to make the sequence monotonically decreasing. As a result, we cannot apply the alternating series test. However, we will be able to use a different technique to prove this. So instead, we can prove convergence of the series by proving absolute convergence. Which we will do, or which we will see in the next videos. So, which we will learn about in the next videos. So again, just because the alternating series test does not apply, doesn't mean that our alternating series diverges. It simply means that we have to find another test to use. Right, so in the next videos, we will take a look at this absolute convergence and how it can be useful.